If you act as if God is within you, your voice changes, your posture changes, you stop asking for permission to live with fire. And you stop waiting, heaven stops waiting too. This is not a lesson, this is a summons. If you are hearing this now, it is because something in you is ready to rise. You have waited long enough. The silence you feel, the restlessness inside you, it is not confusion, it is a call. A divine order echoing from within, commanding you to stop living like you were forgotten. You were not made to shrink. You were not placed here to drift. You were sent, and the one who sent you does not apologize for power. The man who listens with reverence, who studies this again and again until it becomes his new law. He will not just change, he will become the living proof of purpose sent with clarity, walking with power, and finishing what heaven began. Now listen, because the moment you believe this truth, you will no longer walk as a man. You will walk as one who is sent. You have walked long enough pretending to be less than what you were sent to become. You have bowed long enough to fear. You have hesitated long enough in the shadow of doubt. But now, the voice of purpose calls to you, and if you will obey what is about to be spoken, not just hear it, but obey it, you will never again be the man you were before this hour. Because what I'm about to give you is not motivation. It is law, not advice, instruction. It is the truth of who you are beneath the story, beneath the excuses, beneath the hesitation that the world has taught you to wear. And here is that truth. You were not made small. You were not sent here to drift. You were not placed on this earth to survive. You were sent with power. You were sent with command. You were sent with God Himself written into your spirit. And yet, most men live like intruders in their own life. They apologize for wanting more. They hide their fire. They speak with hesitation, act with delay, and wait to be approved before they move, not because they lack ability, but because they have forgotten who sent them. And the world prefers it that way, because the man who walks as if God is within him, that man cannot be controlled. That is why this truth is not man. Cannot be controlled. Handed out in schools. It is not printed in the headlines. It is not celebrated in public. Because when a man begins to think as if heaven lives inside him, he becomes ungovernable by weakness. He no longer listens to the noise. He no longer waits for support. He no longer serves fear. He begins to walk differently, speak differently, build differently. And the moment that man appears, systems that rely on confusion begin to collapse. You must understand this infinite intelligence is not far off. It is not hiding. It is not waiting in the clouds. It is within you, but it will not move until you do. And when you act in alignment with the purpose you were sent to fulfill, when you carry yourself as if heaven has given you a task, when your words, your decisions, your habits reflect reverence for that mission, everything begins to change. But this will only work if you listen, if you obey every word, if you silence the voice in your mind that wants to entertain, compare, skip forward, or analyze. Because the truth I am about to give you is hidden, not shouted. And if you drift while hearing it, you may miss the line that your future was built to receive. Do not let that happen. Listen with your full attention. Study this as if your life depends on it, because it does, and do not hear it once. The wise man will return to this message again and again until it becomes him. Until the thought, God is within me, is not a phrase but a fact. Until the posture of one sent becomes your natural stance. Until your identity is no longer uncertain, but etched in divine certainty. You are not here to survive, you are here to build. You are not here to wait, you are here to command. You are not here to ask, you are here to decide. And the moment you begin to act as if God is within you, you will no longer walk like a man, you will walk like one who was sent. Now we begin. You were not created You were not created to hesitate. You were not designed to wait. You were not formed by the hand of purpose only to spend your days questioning your right to build, to speak, to move. Doubt is not your nature. Delay is not your inheritance. Fear is not your truth. These were taught to you, but the voice that built the universe, the same force that hung the stars and shaped the fire of the sun, did not create you with uncertainty. It created you with power and placed that power within your mind. Most men live as if they were never meant to live at all. They move through the day with hesitation in their breath. They walk lightly as if trying not to disturb a world that has already forgotten them. They wait for permission to rise. They wait for approval to pursue what was placed inside of them before they were born. But the man who walks as if he was sent, that man does not wait. He does not wander. He does not beg. He does not ask the world to accept his fire. He walks with it because he knows it was not given by the world. It was given by God. You must now understand this truth. You were placed here by purpose. And what placed you here does not create failure. The infinite does not manufacture weakness. The source of power does not send emptiness. You were not born a mistake. You were not placed on this earth by randomness. You were sent. And if you were sent, then there is within you something greater than personality, greater than education, greater than environment, something eternal, something divine, something demanding expression through you. The reason so many men feel lost is because they have not obeyed that inner instruction. It is not because they lack opportunity. It is not because the world is against them. It is because they have ignored the voice that speaks without sound, the voice that does not shout but command. And every time they feel it, every time they sense it calling, they dismiss it. They delay. They argue. Failure is not your nature. They negotiate with the very source that gave them life. And so they shrink. They become spectators, intruders in their own life, passengers in their own story. Let me say this clearly. Failure is not your nature. Failure is the result of disobedience to purpose. And when a man walks in contradiction to his purpose, when he hears the call but chooses comfort, when he senses the fire but clings to fear, he must fail. Not because he is cursed, but because he is out of alignment with his assignment. There is a law that governs the rise of every man. You must walk as if heaven sent you, not with arrogance, but with divine authority. You must live not as a question, but as a command. You must speak, not as someone wondering if he belongs, but as one who knows he was chosen to build. This is not fantasy. This is not ambition. This is your assignment. Do not tell me you are too flawed. Every man God uses was flawed. Do not tell me you are too late. The eternal does not wait on time. Do not tell me you need to feel more ready. Obedience has never required comfort. It only requires alignment. And once you align, the resources appear. The power flows. The opportunities arrive. Not because the world has changed, but because you did. Let me give you the example of Abraham Lincoln. He was not the man the world expected. He was mocked, dismissed, defeated. He lost elections. He faced humiliation. He endured public scorn, but he obeyed the inner command. He did not walk as a politician. He walked as a man of principle. He did not speak to win favor. He spoke to fulfill his responsibility. His strength was not found in strategy, but in the moral fire that burned in his chest, placed there by something greater than popularity. Lincoln did not succeed because the world was ready. He succeeded because he walked as if destiny moved with him. And, now I tell you, this destiny will move with you if you walk in obedience. God within is not a symbol. It is not a metaphor. It is not a poetic phrase to ease your conscience. It is infinite intelligence seeking expression through your thoughts, your habits, your action. It is the power that placed you here not to wander but to build, not to beg but to lead, not to drift but to decide. And that power is waiting not for the world to approve you, not for your past to change, not for fear to leave. It is waiting for you to rise, to align, to speak what must be spoken, to do what must be done. And when you obey that call, when you carry yourself as a man who was sent, heaven begins to move with you. Let me now give you your spiritual practice. Each morning, speak aloud, I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Do not look around you for evidence. Look within. The presence of fire is your confirmation. Write your chief aim and place it where you see it daily. This is not a goal. This is your divine instruction. Every action today must reflect the man who is sent. No hesitation, no explanation, just movement. Before sleep, repeat the affirmation again with conviction. I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Now say it aloud, with clarity, repeat the affirmation, strength with reverence. I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Again, I was not made to wander. I was sent to walk in power. Let these words become your command. Let them silence the voice of your former self. Let them cancel the doubt, the delay, the guilt, the shame. Because you are not here to carry shame. You are not here to rehearse pain. You are here to walk in purpose, to think with authority, to act as if heaven is watching. Because heaven is within you. You are the builder now, not someday. Now you are the voice now, not when you feel ready. Now you are the one sent to carry this message into every room, every hour, every decision. And the only question that remains is this: will you obey the call or argue with it? Because the power has already been placed. The law has already been written. The voice has already spoken. Now go, obey. Building and walk as one who is sent. The power you seek does not descend upon the idle. It does not flow to the man who waits for perfect conditions. Infinite intelligence, that invisible force which governs all creation, does not concern itself with your feelings or your fears. It concerns itself only with your movement. No matter how busy enthusiasm you encourage in the world, you will seek and find the only thing that matters is movement. The spiritual law is this: belief must be proven through action. You may speak of faith, write of purpose, dream of greatness, but if you do not act, your belief is not real. Faith without movement is not humility, it is rebellion. It is a silent rejection of the purpose planted inside you. It is the sin of delay dressed in the disguise of prudence. You were not sent here to wait. You were sent to build. You were not sent here to question your power. You were sent to wield it. The man who walks as if heaven walks with him unlocks the gates of provision, not because of privilege, but because he acts before proof arrives. You must understand this law. Action confirms belief. Waiting denies it. If you say you believe but refuse to move, your subconscious records that contradiction. Next report. It stays there for 4 months. Then says, you believe that you feel something, that you do something. Then you feel something, that you do something. Nevertheless, you have to believe before you feel something. You can't feel until you believe. And because it does not argue, it simply obeys. You begin to shrink. You begin to hesitate more. You begin to act less. And soon belief itself is no longer a seed, but a memory. But the man who moves, even while afraid, even while uncertain, begins to multiply his own strength, because movement attracts power. Boldness activates response. Heaven honors the man who honors the purpose by walking in it. Do not confuse stillness with wisdom. There is a time for reflection, yes, but the reflection must always lead to decision. And decision, if genuine, must be followed by action. The law of growth begins the moment you obey. Look at Thomas Edison. He did not wait for the perfect design. He did not require applause. He did not demand certainty. He simply believed in what he saw in his mind. And because he believed, he acted. Over 10,000 failed attempts. But every time he moved, every time he worked, every time he reached, again, he was confirming belief. And eventually, belief turned to result. Vision became invention. Imagination became history, and you are no different. You carry within you the power of creation. You have been visited by the same infinite intelligence. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle when you begin to move. But if you disobey this law, if you continue to speak without action, to plan without execution, to pray without pursuit, you will remain where you are not, because you are cursed, but because you did not act. The world yields to the man who does not wait. It watches the one who does not hesitate. It responds to the man who moves not with panic, but with conviction. You must now become that man, the one who walks forward even when the path is unclear, the one who builds before he sees the reward, the one who trusts the voice within more than the noise outside. Let me give you the law again. Action confirms belief. Waiting denies it. And I give you now the discipline that will transform your life. Each morning, write one action aligned with your chief aim and take it. When hesitation speaks, repeat aloud. I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. Record your proof daily. You must show your mind that you are, I walk in obedience, are not a man of delay. Do not explain your action to the hesitant. Their permission is not your requirement. You may say, but I'm afraid. Good! That means the command was clear. Fear is not a stop sign. It is simply the echo of the old self dying. And the only cure for fear is not comfort. It is obedience. Now say this aloud with conviction. I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. Again, I walk in obedience. I move before I feel ready. I walk as if heaven moves with me. This is not a phrase. It is your new rhythm. It is your law. It is your identity. From this moment on, no more hesitation, no more waiting, no more negotiating with the dream placed inside you by infinite mind. Now you move. Now you obey. Now you act. And when you do, watch how heaven follows your steps. You cannot carry divine power with a divided mind. You cannot walk in authority while entertaining every voice, every fear, every contradiction. The man who has been sent must protect his thought with the same intensity a king guards his crown, because thought is the seat of your authority. And if your thought is polluted, your actions will betray you. Most men do not fall because of failure. They fall because their thinking was unguarded. They permit every suggestion to enter. They allow every doubt to speak. They open the gates of their inner world to the noise of the outer world and wonder why their power fades. But the man who has been sent, the man who walks as if the voice of God speaks through him, does not treat his thought casually. He disciplines it, he commands it, he directs it. And in doing so, he becomes unshakable. Let me now give you this law. Controlled attention is the bridge between infinite intelligence and definite achievement. If your mind is open to every noise, every fear, every imagined threat, then infinite intelligence cannot speak clearly. God cannot move through clutter. The divine cannot direct a distracted mind. You must now ask yourself this question daily, hourly, moment by moment. Does this thought honor the call that lives within me? If yes, then you think it, you speak it, you obey it. If no, it is rejected, removed, and replaced. No emotion,